Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Ivy and I am super excited to have you along with me today. I have a grocery haul for you and I'm going to go over week 4 of our Three Rivers Challenge. So this is the last week we are participating in the Three Rivers Challenge. We're not going to go into February technically because I'm not going to monitor my budget in the same manner. I'm not going to be using up surplus in the same manner, but what the challenge has done for me is really challenged me, gotten me to think outside the box with a lot of my cooking, and also just how I purchase food and how we store it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited for kind of like this new chapter and new phase. So I will be doing a big stock up next week. So of course, stay tuned for that. But just being more mindful of the things I purchase each week and using through those items before I go out and buy a bunch of other things. So one thing that I wanted to make sure and go over this week in this video is my list again. And you're going to see this list a lot more often because I really enjoyed having a lot more meal options. Said it before. Sorry to hear the repeat, but we were doing it basically on a weekly basis. And this was nice to have, again, using up those items that we have just in surplus or on hand. So again, being mindful, thinking through. So like when I buy stuff to make sides or something, that we're having it multiple times so that whatever I purchase is being used up. Okay. Over explaining, I'm pretty sure, but so I'm going to kind of go through my list briefly. The items I picked up this week are to make sure I use the last couple of recipes or meal options that I have on my list. And then a very brief, because I showed you last week, one last little glance of what my pantry and everything look like before I stock back up next week. So that's enough. Let's dive in, see what I picked up this week, what I needed for the meals that we have going on this week, and then we'll get into all the other stuff. All right, here it all is, everything I picked up at the store this week. So the food was like exactly $35 this week, maybe like $35.18 or something like that. And then I got 2 household items. So my total haul was only $51. I am so proud of it, guys. It's been so good and I'm so proud, and it has definitely saved us money. So I'm excited to keep that going. So here's what I picked up this week. 2 gallons of milk because we just go through the milk like crazy. Now, I will say we are like on the last 2 or 3 bowls of cereal of all the cereals, but we'll look at that when we get in the pantry. I'm so excited. That's another new leaf I'm turning over, is only buying what we're going to use through in a week's time. Okay, next is hazelnut creamer. Riley requested this, as I have mentioned probably every week. The family didn't choose to do this challenge, but she requested this week, and she's done amazing using up the other creamers we had first before she even asked for it. So I'm really proud of that. I picked up apples this week mainly because I wanted apples. I love eating apples with peanut butter as a snack, and beginning of the year, hoping to get healthier and all that jazz. So picked up apples. So I figured that would be a good sugar substitute because I really do need to cut back on my sugars. Next, peanut butter. They were out of stock of the big one. They were last time too, and I got 2 small ones. I just got a small one this time. Like I said, I'm going to do a big grocery haul this weekend, so I'll find a bigger container, but that'll get us through for sure for the next few days. And then I ran out of pickled beets, guys. I was so sad. I wanted this so badly over the weekend as a snack, and I didn't have any, so I had to pick up one more can of pickled beets to get me through. So a meal that I'm making, I was going to make it the other day, but I did not have multiple things actually, but this hamburger stroganoff, I needed some cream of chicken soup. So we'll get that one checked off the list. Tuna. Scotty's going carnivore right now. So he's only eating higher protein meat. He's not going full keto. He's just trying to do a little bit different. So he requested some tuna, and I actually ordered the 4-pack. So this was a substitute. And then they gave me 5 instead of 4. So I don't know why. It cost me, so I guess that did put me over a little because it cost me an extra $1 something because they gave me 5 instead of 4. But it's fine. We will 100% eat it. It's not the end of the world. But it was just weird. So they traded me a 4-pack for 5 individual cans. And I had to pay more for it, of course. Cheese, again, I got the 1 pound block because they didn't have the 2 pound block. Like last time I said they chose for me. Well, they did it again. So just got the 1 pound and it's fine. It lasted us a week and it was good. Crackers, y'all, I had those 2 boxes of crackers over there. I went through both boxes. I'm so darn proud of myself. But now I didn't get to make meatloaf. So I had to buy crackers because that is the other thing left on my list over here was meatloaf. And then when I was searching crackers, I saw these oyster crackers and I don't know why, but I'm like, I want to order those. So I did. They were like $1.12. So it was something I didn't need. I probably should not have ordered them, but I don't know. I just wanted them, so I got them. We'll definitely eat them. I will 100% eat them. I might even take them to my classroom as a snack for myself. So we'll see. Another reason I didn't make the last few meals on my list is because I ran out of onions. Guys, I am so proud of myself, the things that I depleted out of my stock. So anyway, a whole new package of onions. And that's it for the food items. So yay us. And then I got 2 non-food items. This is for a prom dress. So that's a fun project coming up on my weekly vlog. You'll see, I'll start it on Saturday. So probably next week's weekly vlog. But we needed that. And then toothpaste. We just needed more toothpaste. So that's it. That's all the groceries I picked up this week. Let's just jump right into the list because we've already referenced it a few times, but literally the only thing I haven't made is meatloaf. Frito pie, mainly because we've been going to basketball games, and if we want Frito pie, we'll get it at the basketball game. Baked chicken, because I ran out of chicken. I thought about buying some this week, but because I still had a few of these meals left to make, I'm like, I'm going to be fine because we'll have leftovers and we also have other basketball games to get to. Hamburger stroganoff. Like I said, I didn't have the ingredients I needed for that. And then the lima beans, and that's it, y'all. 3, well, technically 4 because of that one. And then I think I told y'all last week, that wasn't chili, that was baked beans, and they were freezer burnt. So sadly, that had to go to the chickens. But yeah, meatloaf and hamburger stroganoff are definitely on the meal plan for next week. And then I decided to add January. Oh, there's my hamburger bun recipe. I sent somebody the link. It's actually in the comments of last week's video. So if you want the hamburger bun recipe, I left a link in the comments. But anyway, I'm going to go on with February and so on and so forth and make another long list. So I'm excited. If you're excited, stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that. Now let's go see my pretty empty pantry and whatnot. Okay, I already referenced this a few times, but I actually cleaned it up since last week. You'll see in this week's video, I used up a lot of the chips and stuff out of this area. So we are dwindling down. Like I said, I used up all the crackers. I have about a half a sleeve maybe there. Used up my onions. I'm almost out of potatoes, but I didn't need to get those this week. So we're looking good there. All right, pantry's looking about the same as last week. I might have used 1 or 2 things. I think we used corn or something, but oh, I definitely used up all this stuff right here. So yep, very slim pickings here. So the canned goods are 100% something I need to replenish because we will definitely go through that kind of stuff. Nothing out of here has changed since last week. But then the cereal, I guess it looks the same, but these are like all empty now. So we're almost completely out of cereal, which is definitely a good thing. I'll probably knock this down to like 2 containers and only have 2 kinds of cereal at a time and do away with anything that's not in a container. I'll probably even put, that's probably what I'll do. I'll put oatmeal in this smaller one and then 2 cereals in that, and then that's all we'll keep down there. And I'm excited about that. All right, freezer, a little bit has changed. We've definitely used some more stuff, but I actually ended up freezing some orange juice that we had. So we'll just throw those into smoothies. That way it didn't go bad and we were able to reserve that. But there's like 5 of these little containers that have about a cup and a half maybe of orange juice. I don't know how much is in there. But we used up several of the meat items out of there and a couple of additional things out of here. So I'm super happy about how all that's looking. And I never show y'all my actual refrigerator, but so you don't have anything before to go on, but it's looking pretty bare as well. Only like one little set of leftovers right there, which is just mashed potatoes and gravy, which I might actually eat tonight. But we've even dwindled down a lot of our condiments. We actually have almost a full gallon of milk left. But yeah, it's even looking nice and cleaned out, and I'm thrilled with it. Still a lot of green stuff in there. Yeah, I'm happy about my refrigerator as well. All right, y'all, and that is going to do it for this video. I guess I do need to show you the things that I cooked this week. So here are the things that I cooked this week. I know that's going to be short because I didn't cook very many times this week. We ate leftovers and we went to ball games, and we actually were pretty busy this past week. So here are the meals that I cooked out of our stockpile this week. We are starting off this week strong with 15 bean soup. This was our family dinner night, and it feeds a nice big crowd. I also wanted to do some bread, so I used my mom's batter roll recipe. But here's all the ingredients we used up this week. That was my last full onion, but this is definitely one of our favorite meals. Unfortunately, it did not work out for some reason in the crock pot all day long, so I ended up having to transfer it to a pot and cook it on the stove. But it ended up working out in the end. It wasn't too crispy, but the bread turned out so good. I love homemade bread. That's my mom's recipe. I don't know if it was a family recipe passed down or anything, but actually, now that I say that out loud, I kind of think maybe it was my dad's mom's recipe. But regardless, it makes the best bread. Love it so much. It makes good rolls, good just slicing bread. I made some like different thicknesses of slices, and it was just so good. I feel like I could go on and on about this bread for far longer than I need to, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. But I guess I will add, I was trying to slice it while it was still very hot. And here's the finished soup and bread, and it was so incredibly delicious. All right, on to our next meal, and it is fried deer steak, and this is Scotty's world right here. I don't know how he does it, but it is so incredibly good every time. I just can't rave about it enough. So he's putting, as far as I know, just flour and Creole, Tony Chachere's Creole, in that little shaker thingy, and then he's just scrambles up an egg. That sounded weird. Beat an egg. I don't know. But he dips the meat in the egg and then shakes it in the flour mixture, and then he fries it in olive oil. And I don't know, he's got it down to a science, because when I tell you this was incredible, like, I don't know. I feel like I've said that word already so many times in this video, but oh, it was so good. So good. But it was also fun to cook with him in the kitchen. We don't get to do that very often. And so he was doing the meat, and I got the potatoes ready for mashed potatoes. And it was kind of fun just hanging out in the kitchen together. But he was doing the cooking and not me. Well, for a minute, I guess, because then I did jump in and ended up making the gravy once he got the meat done. But this was so good. We're actually talking about having it again this week because we've not had it in a while and kind of forgot how amazing it was. So I just used some of the flour left from his dredge and put it in the grease that was left, and it made the most perfect gravy. So of course it had that Creole seasoning and the flour, and the flavor was just perfect. I did end up running it through a strainer because I put too much flour in. So it was a little bit clumpy, but once I strained those clumps out, it was perfect. So I got the potatoes all mashed up. Did use the hand masher this time. I usually will use my mixer, but it wasn't a very big helping of potatoes. And here it is all set out. And here's my finished plate. And it was such a nice comfort meal. It was incredible. I guess I should say it again because it was so, so good. Okay, we have turkey and green rice. So this is actually leftover turkey from Thanksgiving that I threw in the freezer the same week of Thanksgiving. And I'm just using up some of those ingredients. I had those chicken broth since Thanksgiving, but they actually weren't supposed to expire till May or June. I can't remember exactly what it was. But one of them, when I went to open it, it just felt like it had already been opened. And I was like, that seemed weird. So then I smelt it and it definitely smelled weird. So I threw that away and used the whole other one. But I was kind of bummed that that whole thing went to waste. So anyway, got my veggies chopped up and then I'm going to saute them there in some butter in the skillet. Scotty is making himself a carnivore breakfast. As I mentioned earlier, he's kind of doing the meat diet, high protein. And I made cinnamon rolls this morning and he didn't want cinnamon rolls out of a can. So that's why I didn't show you guys them. But anyhow, while my veggies are sauteing, I'm just chopping up the larger pieces of turkey and I put it in a huge pan. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm making this for our dinner at church. So it made a ton. And here's me realizing that that broth was no good. So anyway, dumped that broth out, got the fresh and put it in there. Thankfully, I caught it before I put it in the food because it definitely did not smell right. So that was 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of broth, and cooked for about 45 minutes, something like that. And it turned out so delicious. All right, last meal of the video here, but we've got taco salad once again, but this is a just throw everything together taco salad. I got a pound of meat. I only had a tiny bit of cheese, so I did some mozzarella cheese sticks. I was going to use sour cream, but I ended up not. You'll see that later. Jalapenos, Taco Bell sauce, salsa, and then look at all these partial bags of tortilla chips. We used them all up, y'all. I'm so proud that we used them up. And then I have a partial head of lettuce and a full head of lettuce. And we normally use creamy Italian dressing, but we had ranch, so that's what we used. And once I got the meat browned, I didn't have any beans to put in it, so it was just plain meat. Here's all the toppings we ended up with, and it was so good. It was taco salad, but it was so different from what we normally make. It was just perfect and delicious, and taco salad in a different way than we're used to, and we all absolutely loved it. Plus, it was just such a great way to use up so many of those random items that we just had sitting around in our pantry and refrigerator. So that's gonna do it. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed coming along with the few things that I prepared this week. It's just been really nice. I've just loved it. I've had nothing but positive experience from it. It's definitely changed my mindset and way of thinking. And I don't know. I'm super happy that I did the 3 Rivers Challenge. If you have followed me purely because of the 3 Rivers Challenge, thank you. I hope you'll stick around. There are so many other channels still ongoing through February. Like I said, I'm not really going to be one of those. You will see bigger hauls coming up. But again, it's been a nice change this last month. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and of course subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future content. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family and continue coming on this journey, this new mindset for me, see how this changes for us. I am going to go to Aldi this weekend, so I'm going to be checking out new grocery stores, and I'm just really excited to see what savings I can find and changes that we can make for this coming year. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notifications, and join my YouTube family. Thanks for coming along with me on this one. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.